Hey YouTube, welcome to my wood shop here. Today I wanted to show you where I'm at on my drum sander or thickness sander build. These plans I took off of Matthias Wandel's website. It was modified from Pat Hawley, I believe, who has a woodworking YouTube channel as well. So I guess this is the third iteration of these particular plans. I'm going to link them down in the description where I got them, and I'm going to go over a lot of details that I have added for what I do. Specifically, this is going to mostly be a cutting board related machine, because I am just burnt out on random orbit sanding of in-grain cutting boards, because with the amount of cutting boards that I do, I'm losing a huge chunk of my life to sanding. So something had to be done, and I didn't really want to invest $1,500 into a thickness sander when I could build one for $450 or so over the course of a few weeks. So let's get started. Okay, the first and most obvious change or alteration that I made to the original plans is I put it on locking casters. Pretty much everything in my shop that I'm building now is going on casters because I don't have a lot of room. So when I'm not using it, I need to be able to roll it away. And I'm getting older, so I just don't want to pick stuff up if I don't have to. So if I can just push it away, lock it in place, forget about it until I need it, that's kind of the end goal for any type of machinery or hardware that I produce myself in my shop. So it's on casters. I had them all lock, so it's actually surprisingly sturdy. I've been pushing on it to make sure. The added weight from the motor helps rigidity as well. I added some more specifically for the casters, but some studs on the bottom. This also helps against torsion from the motor itself running to keep it more robust, I guess, as far as the frame is concerned, to keep it in place and make it a sturdy machine. Additionally, I put the motor here on a slanting mount, so I don't have to mess with the belt tension that much. I'll have it secured down with hardware at an angle, and the weight of the motor itself will also add, mind you, not a lot, but it will add some tension to the belt to keep the belt on there and to keep it feeding. Now here I've modified a few things from the original plan as well. The way that I'm mounting the pillow blocks, I've changed that myself to mount them under here. I'll get more into that in a minute. With the table itself, the way the table's raised, that's with the plans. It's just a half-inch bolt, an 8-inch by half-inch bolt, pushing up against a plate that I drilled out so it doesn't eat into the actual table itself. And that's pretty much how you raise and lower it. It stays relatively solid. The extra weight on here, so far it's been decent. The way that I'm going to mount these pillow blocks on here is just like this. There we go. Not as graceful as I anticipated. There we go. I have it mounted on here, and this will basically do all my work for me as far as sanding, cutting boards and butcher's blocks are concerned. With this is another modification, and I have to tell you that I stole this idea from the Stumpy Nub guys on their thickness sander, so I need to include a link to that as well as a reference. I took a 4-inch diameter PVC pipe, cut it, drilled, tapped, and countersunk right in both of these spots to attach it solidly to the bar stock that I'm using to actually turn the mandrel to do the sanding, so it's secure. I also took their idea to do 3 of them in 3 different stages of sandpaper, so I can kind of automate my whole system and just knock these things out in batches and not spend days of my life sanding. So I'm going to be very happy once I get this guy going here. That's the majority of what I've done on here so far, but I'll give you a preview of, or an idea of what I'm actually trying to do here. So I'll show you a cutting board here real quick. Okay, now this is a cutting board fresh out of the clamps. It was a bar clamp that I actually used, and you can still see that there's lots of little pieces of glue on here. Normally I scrape this off, but I kind of wanted to show this for the purpose of this video. And we get it in here, and I'm gonna raise it up. I'm gonna have to oil that. And basically going to have it run through here, and this is going to be spinning towards me, I'm assuming, and it's going to get pushed through there, not with my hands, mind you, and it's going to come out on the other side looking like that. That is the end goal, and I won't have to touch a random orbital sander at all, hopefully. But I'm going to put that in part 2 once we get this going on, which should be relatively soon, the next week or maybe a little bit longer, depending on my free time and how I can get away from work. One more quick update with this machine, something that I decided to add to it. For those of you who stuck through to the end of the video, you get a little Easter egg here. I decided to mount an aftermarket digital gauge that I'm going to put on here as a reference for how high I raise the table, and to give me an idea of the depth of cut. So once I have that mounted and I can give myself a reference point, I can shoot these out with a good deal of consistency as far as the thickness is concerned, so I can make repeat projects and they'll be similar, and because people like that, people are afraid of change. So any repeat customers kind of know what they're getting into when they want something from me, or when they order something from me. So that's about it for video 1. I'll let you know when I'm actually blasting out another one of these guys. On video 2, I'll show the process. Alright, well that's it for now. Short video this week, I know. But I'm just trying to get a lot of stuff done. I have a lot of orders at the moment, and I'm trying to stay above water. I'm sure a lot of you can relate. Part 2, I'll try to get out in the next week or so. I can't promise. It won't be a little bit after that, but I'll do my darndest to get it out for you. If you like the video, please feel free to like, comment, subscribe if you haven't. I'm trying to put these out just to share what I do. I don't have aspirations to partner with YouTube or anything. I just like people to see what I'm doing, and especially comment to let me know if they have any ideas particular to what they see in my shop, or actual projects that I'm working on. So give me some feedback, and if you have any questions for me, feel free to ask. Thanks guys.